You text her. No reply. You call. Straight to voicemail. You sit in silence, staring at the last message she left on read. Hours pass. Your chest tightens. You scroll through old photos, wondering where the warmth went. No harsh words. Her laughter fades. The conversation stalls. Her gaze turns inward. And you're left in a quiet room that suddenly feels colder. You might panic, obsess over every message, replay the last conversation, wondering what you did wrong. But what if her silence isn't rejection? What if it's a storm she's weathering alone? Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." Understanding a woman's silence in a relationship is a powerful yet often overlooked skill. It's not always about what she says, but what she feels. Her silence may come from overwhelm, emotional fatigue, or the need to process thoughts she hasn't yet found words for. If you can stay present, not reactive, you create space for her to open back up. In this video, we'll explore the real reasons behind a woman's silence, the emotional strength required to meet her there, and how to maintain your own self-control, clarity, and connection when it matters most. Let's begin. Number 1. Understanding the roots of her silence. You're on the couch, the TV is playing, she's right there beside you. But she's not really there. Her shoulders are tense. Her replies are clipped. She stares at her phone more than at you. You reach out, and she leans slightly away. Her silence isn't passive. It's a message. But it's not the kind most men are trained to hear. Maybe she's overwhelmed at work. Maybe she feels unseen in the relationship. Maybe she's holding back tears she doesn't have words for yet. Silence, for many women, is not a shutdown. It's a sanctuary, a way to protect her emotions until they feel safe to surface. And this is where most men go wrong. They take it personally. They press. They panic. They demand answers when what she needs is space, presence, and quiet strength. But the Stoic man, he listens with more than his ears. He watches. He feels. He doesn't fix. He holds space. He understands that silence isn't the absence of connection. It's often the beginning of a deeper one. If you can meet her there with calm, not chaos. Understanding her silence isn't about decoding every mood. It's about seeing the woman behind the quiet. When you learn to do that, you don't just connect. You build trust that words could never create. Number 2. Emotional self-control and presence in attraction. The moment she goes silent, your instincts scream for action. Say something. Fix it. Don't let her slip away. But emotional self-control means resisting that urge. It means quieting your inner chaos before trying to quiet hers. Most men rush into the silence with noise, texting, explaining, overanalyzing, trying to patch a crack that might not even exist. But what if her silence isn't the end? What if it's an opening? A space where trust can actually deepen. Emotional self-control isn't about repression. It's about restraint. It's feeling the storm rise inside you and still saying, "I'll wait, I'll breathe, I'll stay grounded." And presence? It's not just about being physically there. It's in how you look at her when she can't meet your eyes. It's how you hold space when she has no words. It's your calm heartbeat echoing through her chaos. The truth is, women don't remember the man who panicked. They remember the one who stayed steady, the one who didn't flinch when silence got loud. Because in that stillness, you stop being just her partner. You become her anchor. And in that grounded energy, attraction doesn't fade, it deepens. Number 3, navigating emotional tests in relationships. You message her like always, but something's off. Her reply is delayed. Her words are brief. The warmth you're used to isn't there. Plans get postponed. Her presence starts to feel more like absence, and suddenly your thoughts spiral. Did I upset her? Is she losing interest? What changed? This is the moment where most men go wrong, not because of what she's doing, but because of how they respond. Silence from a woman can be more than just quiet. It can be an emotional test. Not a game, not manipulation, but a way to see what you're made of. She's not asking you a question with words, but she is asking, can you meet me here without falling apart? In those moments, she's watching. Is your confidence dependent on her validation? Is your love rooted in calm, or does it collapse under pressure? Most men either cling or retreat, but the Stoic man does neither. He breathes. He observes. He doesn't panic. He doesn't force connection. Instead, he honors the space and lets her move through it, while staying steady in himself. That steadiness is rare, and rare is unforgettable. She's not looking for noise, she's looking for presence. Be the stillness that shows strength. Be the calm she can come back to. Number 4, silence as an emotional strength test. Silence, in many relationships, isn't always distance. It's a revelation. When a woman withdraws, it can feel like the air leaves the room. But what if that silence isn't about you? What if it's an emotional strength test? She's not punishing you. She's observing, watching how you respond when the rhythm breaks. In those moments, she's asking a quiet question. Can you handle this version of me? The one who isn't smiling, the one who doesn't text back right away, the one who needs space to think. It's not about her leaving, it's about you showing that you won't fall apart if she does. A woman's silence is often less about disconnection and more about reflection, hers and yours. If you meet her silence with desperation, it confirms her fears. But if you meet it with grounded presence, it reassures her of your depth. You don't chase. You don't collapse. You stand still, rooted like a tree in wind. That steadiness becomes the answer she didn't know she was seeking. That's how emotional strength becomes visible, not in your reactions, but in your restraint, not in your words, but in your unwavering calm. Number 5, the power of self-validation over approval seeking. When her silence lingers, your mind might fill with questions. Did I mess up? Is she losing interest? What should I say to fix this? It's tempting to reach out, to explain, to ask for reassurance. But here's the truth. The moment your self-worth becomes dependent on her reaction, you give away your power. Approval seeking is emotional outsourcing. You hand her the keys to your confidence and hope she drives gently. But real strength is born from self-validation. It means knowing who you are, even when her gaze turns away. It means standing tall when the text doesn't come. It means not measuring your value by her moods, but by your own integrity. A man grounded in self-validation doesn't ask, "Does she still want me?" He asks, "Am I living in alignment with my values?" That clarity creates calm. It transforms your energy from needy to noble. You're not begging to be seen. You're already whole. And ironically, that quiet confidence, it draws her closer. Because women aren't drawn to men who chase approval. They're drawn to men who radiate self-assurance. Number 6. Attraction is shaped by emotional states. Attraction isn't constant. It's fluid. It rises and falls with emotion. And when a woman goes silent, it doesn't always mean she's lost interest. Sometimes she's simply overwhelmed. Maybe it's work, family, self-doubt, hormonal shifts, or a quiet storm inside her that has nothing to do with you. But here's the danger. Most men personalize it. They panic. They chase. They try to earn back a closeness that was never taken away, just temporarily paused. A woman's attraction is deeply tied to how she feels in the moment, not just about you, but about herself and her life. When her emotions dip, her warmth might too. And if you react with fear, you amplify her storm. But if you hold steady, if you meet her silence with grounded presence, you offer something rare. Safety. Not the kind that fixes her, the kind that allows her to return on her own. In that emotional clarity, attraction doesn't just survive, it evolves. Number 7. Maintaining composure. During withdrawal, she pulls back. The text's slow. Her tone shifts. You feel it, the space between you widening. And inside, panic sets in. You check your phone, reread messages, replay conversations, trying to spot the moment it all changed. This is where most men unravel, not because of her withdrawal, but because of their reaction to it. They start flooding her with messages, trying to fix what isn't theirs to fix. But here's the truth. When a woman withdraws, it's not always a crisis. It's often a recalibration. Maybe she's overwhelmed, maybe she's processing, or maybe she's just listening to herself for once. Your job isn't to interrupt that process, it's to remain steady within your own. Composure doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the inner work, choosing clarity over chaos, poise over panic. She'll feel that steadiness before you even speak. And in a world that reacts too fast, your calm becomes magnetic. You don't win her trust by chasing her silence. You earn it by respecting it and holding your ground until she's ready to step closer again. Number 8. Grounding yourself during emotional turbulence. When she goes quiet, the silence can feel like a vacuum. You find yourself spiraling, gripping your phone, rereading her last words, wondering what you did wrong. It's like emotional gravity vanishes, and you're left floating, directionless. But this is the moment to ground, not to chase. Grounding yourself means returning to what anchors you. Breath, discipline, routine, purpose. It's choosing to stand firm in your own identity when the emotional winds try to blow you off course. Take a walk. Lift something heavy. Meditate. Write. Not to escape her silence, but to lead yourself through it. One man once said, "She didn't call, so I went deeper into myself." And what I found there made her silence less frightening. That's the essence of grounding. It transforms silence from something that controls you into something that shapes you. Because when you're grounded, you don't beg for clarity. You become it. And in doing so, you turn emotional chaos into personal power. Number 9. channeling distance into self-improvement. When she pulls away, most men freeze. They pause their lives, waiting for a message that may never come. But distance isn't a death sentence, it's a forge. In that space, you get to decide. Will you shrink or will you build? Every unanswered text is a rep you could have lifted. Every silent night is a chapter you could have written. Every ounce of confusion is fuel for reinvention. Use the ache to sculpt discipline. Let your heartbreak become a hammer, and your life the anvil. Start the business. Clean up your space. Build your body. Sharpen your mind. Become the man who doesn't need her silence to end in order to start becoming better. Because whether she returns or walks away, she'll remember the silence. But more importantly, she'll remember who you became inside it. Number 10. Time mastery and personal purpose. You wake up. No good morning text. You check your phone again. Still nothing. That ache in your chest returns, but so does the choice. Will you let the silence consume your day, or will you use it to rebuild your life? Most men waste the quiet. They sit paralyzed, scrolling, waiting, hoping. But the Stoic man turns the silence into structure. He sees time not as a void, but as a canvas. Picture this. It's 6 a.m. The sky is still dark. You rise. Cold shower. Breath work. You open a book, Marcus Aurelius maybe, and begin your morning routine. By 8 a.m., you've already conquered the hardest part, choosing self-mastery over self-pity. This isn't about distraction. It's about declaration. Every action you take says, I'm not defined by her presence. I'm refined by my purpose. And she'll feel it, even in her silence, even from a distance. The man who respects his time becomes the man others respect by default. Because purpose is louder than panic. And when you move through your days with clarity and conviction, you stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing who you're becoming. Number 11. Strength and purpose as the core of attraction. Attraction isn't born in grand gestures. It's built in quiet moments of discipline. The way you wake up early to chase your mission. The way you speak with intention, not insecurity. The way your energy says, I'm moving forward, with or without your applause. You see, women don't just respond to looks or charm. They respond to gravity. That internal weight a man carries when he knows who he is and where he's going. Picture two men. One paces the room, phone in hand, checking for a reply every few minutes. His value is tethered to her attention. The other? He's locked in, focused, dialed into his purpose. He's not chasing, he's building. And she feels it. She might not say it, but she notices the difference. Strength isn't loud. Purpose isn't desperate. And a man who combines both doesn't have to pursue validation. He becomes the reason others pause. When you live from your core, attraction isn't something you earn. It's something you embody. Number 12. Emotional stability as a safe haven. It's late. She's sitting on the edge of the bed, eyes distant, emotions swirling beneath the surface. She doesn't need advice. She doesn't need fixing. What she needs is a harbor. Emotional stability isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the strength to hold space when answers don't exist. When life gets heavy and her silence stretches long, she's silently asking, "Can I unravel here? And will you still stay steady?" Most men meet this moment with discomfort. They try to cheer her up, distract her, or worse, take it personally. But the man she'll never forget is the one who stays calm in her storm. The one who listens, not to respond, but to understand. The one who sits beside her, grounded, while her world spins. Emotional safety tells her, "You can be messy. You can be silent. You can be raw. And I'll still be right here." That kind of presence doesn't just make her feel safe, it makes her feel seen. And in a world that often rushes to react, being that still point in her chaos makes you unforgettable. Number 13. Patience and observation over reaction. She pulls back. Her texts slow. Her eyes stop lingering. You feel it, the distance, and your first instinct is to close the gap. Reach out, explain, demand clarity. But in that very moment, what she needs most is your patience. Patience isn't passivity, it's emotional discipline. It's the courage to stay still when your ego screams for action. Imagine a man sitting in quiet strength, watching the storm gather, but not rushing into it. He notices the change in tone, the shift in energy, but instead of confronting it immediately, he leans back and observes. Not with suspicion, but with steadiness. Because sometimes silence isn't a punishment, it's a pause. A moment for her to sort through her own emotions without being pulled into yours. And if you can resist the urge to react, if you can simply be there, listening with your presence instead of your pressure, you become the calm she didn't know she needed. That's the man who gets remembered. Not the one who demanded answers, but the one who gave her space to find them. Number 14. Allowing space sparks curiosity. You stop texting first. You stop chasing the rhythm you used to have. Not out of resentment, but out of reverence for the space she seems to need. And suddenly, something shifts. She notices. Not just the absence of your words, but the presence of your peace. You're not playing games. You're not pulling back to punish her. You're allowing space to breathe, to reflect, to wonder. That's where curiosity is born. She starts to ask herself quietly, where did his urgency go? How is he so calm? What's he doing in the silence I created? This isn't manipulation, it's maturity. The kind that shows you're not defined by her availability. You're defined by your direction. She sees you reading more, showing up differently, less reactive, more rooted. And that makes her pause. Because now, she's the one leaning in. Space doesn't push people away when it's grounded in strength. It invites them back, because it lets them feel the gravity of your presence without needing to pull. Number 15. Stay rooted, not reactive. She pulls back, stops calling. The warmth fades. Your chest tightens. Every instinct screams, "Do something." But here's the truth most men never learn. You don't win her trust by chasing her shadow. You earn it by becoming a tree she can return to when the storm passes. Staying rooted means you don't react to every gust of wind. You don't let her silence dictate your self-worth. You breathe, you reflect, you hold your posture, not just for her, but for yourself. It's in your stillness that she feels your strength. Not a cold distance, but a grounded presence. The kind that says, I'm not leaving, but I'm also not collapsing. She may not say it out loud, but she feels it. Your energy changes the room. Your silence speaks louder than your words. You become a mirror, not reflecting panic, but peace. Because when everything feels uncertain, she doesn't need another man who chases noise. She needs one who becomes the calm she didn't know she was searching for. Number 16. Build a life that attracts. She stops texting. The thread goes quiet, and you sit there, staring at your phone, waiting for her to return, for the silence to break. But what if that silence is the invitation you've needed all along? The invitation to turn inward, to ask, who am I without her response, without her attention? The men who rise from silence are not the ones who wait. They're the ones who build. A man with purpose doesn't pause his progress for anyone. He keeps going. He keeps growing. Start that business. Learn that craft. Build your body, your mind, your network. Not to prove a point, but because it's who you are. Let your habits become sacred. Let your vision become sharp. And then, one day, she might look at your life, not your texts, and feel something stir. Not because you begged her to come back, but because your life became too full of purpose to be ignored. Build a life so rooted in meaning, it attracts without effort. A life where your joy doesn't wait for anyone's approval. A life so radiant it speaks for you, even when you say nothing at all. Let's pause for a moment. Think back to the last time her silence pierced through the room. No shouting, no tears, just absence. And in that space, you met yourself. This is where most men unravel, but it's also where Stoic men are forged. Because how you respond to her silence reveals everything about your strength. This isn't about fixing her. It's about mastering you. As we close, remember this. Emotional self-control and presence aren't luxuries. They're leadership. They transform panic into patience, uncertainty into understanding. They are the quiet forces that build safety, intimacy, and respect. When both partners show up, not to control but to connect, a relationship becomes unshakable. But again, this path is not just about her. It's about the man you're becoming. Her silence may be a test, but your response is your legacy. Do you collapse or stay composed? Do you seek approval or stand rooted in your purpose? Growth begins when you stop fearing her silence and start using it as a mirror. Reflect on the lessons from today. Where can you lead with more calm? Where can you hold space without rushing to fill it? Let those questions guide your next step. And if this message spoke to you, join us. Subscribe to the Stoic Code. We're not just building followers, we're building grounded men who lead with depth, discipline, and direction. Like this video if it helped you. Share it with someone navigating distance. And in the comments, let us know. What did her silence reveal about you? We'll leave you with the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Thank you for watching. Stand tall, stay rooted, and lead with presence.